Flexibility, freedom, and focus. Working remotely can present a lot of freedom and flexibility that we all want, but it can also provide a lot of challenges that we need to strategize to get through. I work from home remotely every day, and I feel it is a huge blessing that I'm able to do so. There are a few challenges, however, when you work remotely. For instance, you can't just holler across the room at Tom and ask him what account something goes in when you get stuck. You also won't be going out with your best work buddy to lunch every day because you're going to be eating by yourself. If others in the office have a conversation that you really should have been a part of, you may not hear what actually happened until it's really too late. But I can honestly tell you that there are absolutely ways to get around all of these challenges, and the pros really do outweigh the cons in this situation. In this video, we're going to talk about 7 things you can do to be as effective as possible in your work and home environment. Number 1 is to set clear goals and priorities. I actually use a project management tool to organize my day, and it's very helpful to keep me on task. As an accountant, I work on different client work throughout the day, so it's important to know what tasks need to be done on each client and when they're due. And that helps me to prioritize the work that has to get done in each and every day and to look out at what my workflow should be the rest of the week. Number 2 is to establish a routine. When I start each day, one of the first things I do is check my email, look at my project management software to see which client has what due, and continue to work through my flow. And I have a specific workflow because of that routine that helps me to get things done and meet all my deadlines on time. For instance, on Monday morning, there are specific tasks related to a couple different clients that are routinely Monday morning tasks. And so one of the first things I do after I get, into my home office and get going is to get those 2 tasks out of the way. And I really, and because of the project management software tool, I can check those 2 tasks off. The other thing that I incorporate into my routine are breaks. You have to actually break up the day, just like if you were in the office. So if you had regular restroom breaks, or you took a lunch break, or in my case, what I do is I make sure that I take time to get a walk in, because I know that, I'm sitting all day, and you have to break that up. And when you're in an office, you're walking in between different offices. You'll have to get up and go further to go to the restroom, things like that. And so you get a little more activity in than what you do at home. And you don't want to just sit home all day in one spot at your desk. That is not going to help you. You have to break it up. So my advice there would be to make sure that you every so often would get up and take a 10-minute lap around the house, or go out in the backyard. A lot of times I'll take my dogs out in the backyard and I'll kick their ball for them and just walk around the yard, and it gets me up, it gets me moving. And then when I get back to my desk, I am so much more able to focus because I haven't just been sitting there the entire time. Number 3 is to create a dedicated workspace. Personally, I have used one of the bedrooms that used to be one of my kids who moved out. I've taken that bedroom and made it into my home office. And it's great. I can close the door. I can have complete privacy in here and focus all day on my work. If you can find a place like that in your home to separate, it doesn't have to be another bedroom. Maybe you've got a corner off the kitchen, or a corner in the living room, or maybe there's a corner space in your bedroom. But as long as you can have a defined space, which is, you can say, this is where I work and this is where I'm going to focus, that's it. When I first started working from home, I would try working in my room. I would try to work in the living room. I would try to work anywhere in the house. And what I found is I didn't focus as well. When I am in my office and at my desk, number 1, I have all my monitors, and I don't know, if you don't work as an accountant, you may not understand the importance of having multiple monitors, but it is a whole lot easier for me to work in here, and I can focus a whole lot better. When working in any of the other rooms, I'm just on my laptop, and I don't have the tools necessary to help me get work done more efficiently, and I don't focus as well. Number 4 is minimize distractions. Personally, I find that I focus better at home than I did in the office because I felt like there were more distractions in the office than there are here. But you can still have distractions at home, and you need to minimize them. It could be other family members. If you don't have the house to yourself all day and you've got family members coming in and out, that could be a problem. And you need to make sure that they understand that you have to have time to focus to get your work done and that you can help them at a later time. If you have dogs, they can be a distraction. I know mine can be. And so before a Zoom meeting or something like that, I'll try to make sure that they are in here with me or outside if it's nice weather or something like that, so that they don't disrupt. Because what can happen is if you're on a Zoom meeting or a call and someone comes to the door, the mail tries to come by, I know they really think the mailman's going to get us, then they're going to go crazy and you're going to sound very unprofessional on your Zoom call. And so just keep that in mind and minimize all the distractions. Number 5 is leverage technology. There are many technological advances now that help make working from home so much more efficient. One of the things that you could use is a chat software like Teams or Slack. Those are both very good. It just depends on whether you're on a Google platform or you're on a Microsoft platform. Either way, those are good, and they help you communicate with your team in a fast, easy manner that doesn't involve email and gets you quick results. Another tool that is technologically helpful is your project management software. So I use Asana, and I've used it for years, and our firm actually uses it now. But before they did, I was still using it, right? Because it helped me. I just love checklists, and so in order to know what I needed to do each day or for each client, for each close or whatever it be, I would want to make sure that I could check that off and know that I was done and be able to have that that feeling of, ooh, done, did it, right? And not everybody needs that, but I'm one of those people that do. Anyway, that's one of the good technological softwares that help me stay very organized and efficient and get through my day. Number 6 is practice effective communication. So this is extremely important. So if you're not in the office, like I mentioned earlier, you might miss conversations that happen when you weren't there. And if you aren't regularly communicating with everybody, you might miss out on something that's extremely important to your own work. And so one of the things you can do is have weekly meetings where you have a weekly check-in or maybe a weekly staff meeting. You can do it over Zoom, and you still get that, where you see the people and you're getting the questions back and forth. You check in with each other. You know where you're at in this part of the week or what you have coming up in the rest of the week, so that the others are aware of your workflow and what you may actually need from them during the week, so that they won't be surprised. It also cuts out a bunch of extra emails that aren't necessary, and can lead to much more effective work. Number 7 is prioritize self-care. So if you work from home, you can start early and you can end late, and no one is ever really going to know because you're doing it yourself. And so what this could lead to is you just working a ton and not actually taking enough breaks, putting in way more hours than you should, and it's really only going to hurt you in the end, because it's not like they're going to really realize what you're doing. So to make sure that you prioritize self-care, take breaks, get some exercise in during the day, like I mentioned earlier, and make sure that you stop to eat, that you are keeping plenty of water. Just make sure that you don't work through the day not taking care of yourself. So as we've seen, working remotely can provide flexibility, it can provide freedom, and it can definitely, if you do it right, provide focus. If these tips were helpful for you, I hope that you like and subscribe. Thanks.